Hi RedEye, I'm Sarah Polley. My film Stories We Tell comes out May 17th in Chicago. Should I say in Chicago? Yeah, in Chicago.
This is, of course, spilling so much about yourself and your background to the entire world. What's a moment that has made you feel vulnerable, having all this out there about your family?
I felt a lot more vulnerable and nervous before the film was done, actually. I feel like I spent pretty much the entire 5 years I was making this film doubting whether or not I should be making it and not understanding why I would expose myself or my family in this way, and just feeling generally perplexed by the whole project. And I think I gave up on it many times and wanted to walk away from it.
Really?
I think since it's been done, I've been clear about why I did it, and I don't feel I have the same reservations anymore. I think mostly because people are thankfully receiving it as something that isn't just about me and my family, but hopefully makes them reflect on their families and these sort of universal themes of storytelling and memory and whether or not we can find the truth in the past. So hopefully that those are the conversations people are coming out with, and I've been lucky enough to have some of those conversations, so it's made me feel a lot better about the whole process. I think also my family responding to the film and the people who were in it responding to the film and nobody having a really violent negative reaction to it was a huge relief to me.
Well, those times you referred to where you quit or almost quit, like how did that go? Like just a day that was particularly taxing and then you said, I'm not doing this tomorrow, or what was that like?
I just generally felt haunted by the idea that I'd embarked on this project in the first place. So there was just this general feeling of nausea around this inevitable feeling of, oh my God, I've, involved all these people in telling this story. What if some of them regret having it out there? What if my siblings regret having, spoken about this?
Obviously in the film you're trying to figure out who your father is among a few potential candidates. How much, as this was unfolding, did you have a voice in the back of your mind being like, this is starting to feel like a Mamma Mia situation?
I think I saw Mamma Mia a couple of years after this story happened. I kind of couldn't believe it. So yeah, no, there's a parallel with Mamma Mia, but there's less singing in this film.
That's true.
A lot less singing.
So it was the other way around where you saw Mamma Mia and
I saw Mamma Mia afterwards.
Like
I hate it, wait a second.
Well, have you heard that apparently for a lot of the time that she was growing up and even now, Khloe Kardashian has actually been told, you don't look like your siblings. We think you may have a different upbringing than what you've been told.
Oh, really? That's exciting.
You have not heard about that?
No, I'm completely out of it when it comes to pop culture. So I vaguely know who the Kardashians are, but amazingly, I don't really know who they are.
Define vaguely.
I think I've seen their picture quite a bit, and I may have seen a clip on TV, but I don't actually know what the show is about. I think I'm going to seem like I live under a rock right now, but...
No, I think some people would envy that ability to not be involved in that. If they were in front of you, could you identify them by name, do you think?
No. I think I know who Kim Kardashian is. I think I know, because it's hard to not know who she is. I don't know who anybody else is.
Okay, well,
but I know Khloe might not have the same dad, is that right? As of now?
Yes.
Breaking news from you?
Yes.
Okay, so I know that.
So totally in touch.
Yeah.
Well, what advice would you have if she were going to go on a similar Mamma Mia-esque expedition of trying to find out the truth for Khloe?
I don't know if I have any advice for her. I don't know her.
You were one of the few people who's gone through this.
Is this really true? She's being told? So is she being told that she doesn't have the same dad? Is that what she's being told?
That is... I don't watch the show religiously.
I feel like you do.
I mean, if by religiously you mean 3 times a day.
I feel like the one thing I know about you is you watch the Kardashians.
That's really what everyone knows me by. Yeah, I guess just that if you saw pictures, she doesn't exactly look like the others as much, and I guess that's been kind of a rumor similar to...
Does she care? Is it important to her?
We only talk weekly, so I'm not that sure about that. But I don't know. You don't feel like you would have any advice for anyone in particular?
Not really. I think that you have to kind of follow what you're interested in. So if you feel like it's really important to you to know it, I think it's a good thing to explore. I think if there was a reality TV show being made about me, I might not have done it though. So perhaps you should stand down.
We talked about during the process of making this movie not really being sure if you should keep going. What changed your mind ultimately?
I think it was one of those things where I kept feeling like, oh my God, so many people have put in so much work and money has been spent and I kind of have to. Like there was, I think for a long time, a sense of I don't have an option to stop. But I think also there was something about my family and, you know, my dad's writing, and there's something about the tone of this film that was really, I was stuck on and really wanted to share and have out in the world. And I'm not even sure why that is, but I really wanted to complete it because I think it also, you know, with my other two films, I had a very distinct sense of what they were going to be, and then I executed them, and they were, you know, fairly close to that idea. And with this film, there was such a process of discovery and not really knowing where it was going and letting it form and it changing gears and changing direction so much that I kind of wanted to know what happened. You know, like it was like a mystery to see what this film was going to become, and that was really, it was hard to walk away from it when I didn't yet know what it was going to be.
So you were kind of glued to the screen.
A little bit.
From behind the camera.
A little bit, yeah. No, exactly.
Would you rather spend a week with Justin Bieber or listen to nothing but Limp Bizkit for a year?
I don't know what Limp Bizkit is. I feel like actually what this has become is me outing myself as a total cave person.
I'm really just trying to expose you.
I'm going to go with Limp Bizkit because I don't know them. But actually, I strangely wouldn't mind a week with Justin Bieber because I have, like, things to say to him.
Like what?
I feel like he's been really mistreated. And it makes me really sad. I feel like somebody who had their entire childhood taken from them, I know he says it was all great and he loved it and he loves his fans and all that stuff, but I think anybody put in that position that young and having to deal with that amount of attention, it's so harmful and damaging to your development as a human being. And the fact that he's wigging out a little bit more like than most 19-year-olds right now is not at all surprising, and he's within his rights, and he should have 5 years of license to behave any way he wants. And
so how has he been mistreated then?
Well, I feel like his child is ripped away from him, and now he's kind of freaking out about it, and he's being mocked for it. So, I don't know.
You were famous at a young age, and you
I wasn't that famous. I didn't have every young girl in the world in love with me. That must be something. To kind of try.
Have you interviewed every young girl in the world?
No, but I might verify that. Maybe I should go verify that. But no, I do feel like he, anybody would have, like everyone goes a little crazy at 19 and 20. It's just really public. People are kind of awful to him. People booed him recently at a concert, and I was at a football game he was playing at, and I just thought it was so cruel to do that to somebody who's had such a, I know, like, he's got a lot of money and stuff, but I actually think he's had a pretty crappy life for the last 7 years. So I'm like the Justin Bieber sympathy club.
I see that.
I'm not a fan, but I'm sympathetic.
So you don't like his music, though?
I'm not like a huge fan, but my nieces love him so much and have loved him so much that, like, I see the merit.
So
I don't even know what that means.
I imagine you hanging out with him for a week, and then when he goes to his concert, you're like, I'm fine. I'm going to stay here at the hotel. You go do your thing, then you can vent to me when you get back.
Yeah, I want to talk about his problems. I don't want to talk about his music or hear his I want to talk about his problems. I want to get to the meat of things. But I freaked out more than he did at like 19 and 20, but people didn't have a camera on me, so I don't know. I just feel sort of awful.
What were you like when you were freaking out at 19 and 20?
Who knows? That's just generally being like a sort of unlikable person, something like that. I think that actually affected people more deeply than going shirtless through an airport lineup. I seem to know a lot about Justin Bieber, given that I've never heard about the Kardashians or Limp Bizkit.
Too good for the Kardashians, but knows everything about Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber, I know a lot about. Awesome.
Just as.
Sweet. Okay.